with him all week, but Mickey would have like $5,000 and he'd put it in front of my face. He goes, "Think I can afford lunch?" And he had a 38. Yeah. He didn't like the script. He would bring it out and he'd throw the script. "This script is caca." And he's waving this 38 around and he puts it back in. He goes, "They're not going to get me." Who? Well, he was going to kill Juan Corona, this serial killer. "Before this, I was going to go to see Juan Corona. And I would say, you know who I am? I'm..." There's a sitcom with Mickey Rooney, Nathan Lane in New York.
Mickey Rooney?
Mickey Rooney.
Did you read his book?
No, I know Mickey, though.
Oh. Well, he passed away, didn't he?
He did, but he made it to like 95.
Yeah, dude. Did you hear about the story where he slept at somebody's house for like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He let somebody stay in his house for a couple weeks. He was married to some like bombshell, right?
Yeah, he all 6 of the hottest stars in the world. And I said, "Mickey, how'd you get him?" He goes, "Money makes you handsomer." Money makes you handsomer is his own word. But go ahead. What was his story?
A guy stayed at his place for a couple of weeks and he left him a couple paintings as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, and then like a few months later, he was getting a divorce or something. And so a friend helped him move and he said, "Oh, you can have those." Somebody left him here. And they were Salvador Dali's. There were 2 Salvador Dali paintings.
Whoa.
And he talked about struggling with money most of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And then here he was giving away a couple dollies like that.
Jesus.
Just kind of crazy. Yeah, there he is right there.
There he's there I am. This is the tallest I've ever been. Mickey's like, he called himself, "I'm a fire plug," built like a fire. And Nathan Lane, and that he was my grandfather. And I was just cast from NBC. I got a deal freakily. I had a teen idol thing going on and go, "You're going to play Mickey Rooney's grandson in New York." And then I met Nathan, and Mickey thought I was gay the whole time.
Wow.
He would put his arm around Nathan and look at me and go, "I'm just glad we like girls." And he finally got money because he was broke for 50 years. And
Rooney was?
Rooney was broke. "I called up Warner Brothers in 1955. I said, 'This is Mickey Rooney.'" He was always doing this. "I need a job." And he'd stare off and he'd go, "He hung up on me." And then you'd come into the studio and you'd hear him down the hall. "How long has Robert Redford been in the business?" He's one of those guys who talked till he ran out of air. "How long's Robert Redford been in the business?" 10 years? "I've been in the business 62 years. "How old are you?" 62 and 2 months. I mean, he's one of those guys who's a baby.
Oh, yeah.
He had so many, he would say this 1,000 times. Literally. He would say this every day. He was the number one star in the world, 1937. "I was the number one star in the world. You hear me? Bang. The world." And he did that. "You hear me? Bang. The world." I swear. But he finally had money. He was doing a Broadway show on our show. He went to the racetrack all week. It was old show business. We had a guy who was 5 feet tall, his head was, and we would just rehearse with him all week. But Mickey would have like $5,000 and he'd put it in front of my face. He goes, "Think I can afford lunch?" And he had a 38. Yeah. He didn't like the script. He would bring it out. And he'd throw the script. "This script is caca." And he's waving this 38 around. And he puts it back in. He goes, "They're not going to get me." Who? Well, he was going to kill Juan Corona, this serial killer. "Before this, I was going to go to see Juan Corona. And I would say, you know who I am? I'm Mickey Rooney." And I was going to plug him full of holes. He was the craziest, greatest. He would play a piano because he was a jack of all trades. He played his piano chords. He goes, "This is Stephen Sondheim's favorite song." But then we bonded. He thought I was a hack and an idiot. But then I was able to do Jimmy Stewart for him. So that's when I got him. I go, "How you doing, Mick?" "Yeah, good to see ya." And said he was an impressionist too. He's like Sammy Davis Jr. Just could do anything.
How you doing,
so
man?
We got going toward the end, and Nathan and I, and there's so much more to it. But Meg Ryan played my girlfriend. Scatman Crothers. First time I really befriended this beautiful older black man from the South, I think, or whatever, but Scatman Crothers. And he was like such a poet. My brother came out to visit me and he'd say, "See that man over there with the broom? He's an artist. We're all artists." And he played the ukulele and he'd walk around in the studio. It had an unmarked bottle this big of pills and he'd just chug some, vitamins. "I'm going to 100. I'm doing Mickey now. "I'm going to 100. So what happened was he smoked a lot of weed. It was always weed everywhere.
Scatman?
Yeah,
Oh,
Scatman.
yeah.
So during the break, I went back to San Francisco. There he is. He was the nicest guy. So Scott and I got like 2 lids of Colombian pot. Those days you'd fly with it. I guess we put it in the suitcase. We gave it to Scatman in Rockefeller Center. This is 1981. Mickey Rooney's around. "Scat, here you go." Next day, he's in the elevator with me. He says, because, he grew up during secrecy with pot. He said, the music was good. Might I get a pound? So it was the best pot he ever had. And he could not even look at you and roll a joint, and it was closed on both ends.
Oh.
So then after the show got canceled, he was living in Van Nuys. And so Scott and I brought a bag of Santa Cruz Colombian. We didn't even smoke pot at that point, maybe a teeny bit, but we brought it to him. And he played ukulele. He goes, I got a bad wheel. It was just such a sweet guy. That was a cool part of that story. One final thing that was different was a movie called Tough Guys with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. So they became my buddies. That was weird. I was the third wheel in that movie.
Kirk Douglas is...
he just passed. He passed. Made to 102.
He was the dad, huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Kirk Douglas. And he talked like this. And he's a ton of great movies. And Burt Lancaster. This is like working with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt or something, and so.
Michael Landon, did you ever work with?
No, I would have loved. There we go again. Yeah, look, I was the straight man again. What are you guys doing? I'm telling you, we're going to rob a bank. Yeah, they were, Kirk Douglas. When he saw me, I go, I play him Richie. Kirk Douglas said, well, you're perfect. You look exactly like Richie. And then Burt Lancaster said, how many movies have you done? I go, well, this is my first. You've done 1. I've done 72. So that's the way they talk. You can look it up. So look at all this shit I did.
It's a different time, huh?
Well, I'm on SNL as the church lady 8 months later. I mean, I just came out of nowhere. What? Yeah. But it was a thrill being around them and listening to them tell the stories. Jack Nicklaus had won the Masters golf at age 46, and people thought, and they're like, I had pimples at 46. 46 isn't old. It's not even middle-aged. And they talk like that. And eventually I started doing this thing, which is politically incorrect. You can cut it out. But just for my own amusement, late night writer's room stuff, I did them as lovers, Kirk and Burt. And I don't really like blue humor, but I thought their voices would blend so funny.
Yeah.
And the comedy was about the rhythm and the vernacular. I want you, and I want you now. I need to have you. Okay, don't rush me. 2 men having fun doesn't mean we're gay. Come on, do what you gotta do. Don't keep bucking around like that, son. I only got so much play down there. You keep bucking around like that, I gotta pull out and splooge all over your backside. So that was the poem that made Lovitz throw up in a parking garage. So I would do 20-minute versions of this for the writer's room. Could you, Burt and Kirk? And I did it on an HBO special, but I do it with Lovitz, because I would just go so far with it, I don't know why I need you, but I want all of it. Tonight you won't. So what I did was then I made it into they're just going to wrestle. And I made some tapes for friends and sent it to Bill Hader. I'd like you to come over to my house, 359 Cannon Drive. This is 1952. I'll be there with bells on. There's a gate off the side. The code is 754 pound. We're going to wrestle. We're going to wrestle naked style. I'm looking forward to it. Would you like me to bring anything? Lemonade. Bring me some lemonade. We'll lather up and then we'll wrestle. First man out of the ring loses. I look forward to it. Just naked. I might be wearing a diaper. 455 Cannon Drive. I'll be there at 4 p.m. Make it 4:15. I gotta get ready for the rhythm. So it's just me having a party with those rhythms. Because when I do this stuff, I'm the audience in my head.